The next question is, can Oedipus Rex be called a tragedy of all times? Why? Yes, Sophocles' Oedipus Rex can rightly be called a tragedy of all times because it deals with universal themes, evokes deep emotions. Its enduring power lies in its ability to resonate with audience across cultures and generations. First, universal themes. Oedipus Rex addresses timeless and relatable themes such as fate versus free will. The central conflict is between human effort and inescapable destiny. Oedipus tries to outsmart fate but ultimately fulfills the prophecy. Guilt and responsibility. Oedipus takes full responsibility for his actions even though he was unaware. Second, psychological and philosophical insight. The play explores self knowledge, identity, and the limits of human understanding. Oedipus is blind to the truth about himself while being the one who seeks it to the most. Third is literary excellence. Sophocles' use of dramatic irony, tight structure, and poetic language make the play a model of tragic drama. The audience knows the truth long before Oedipus does, creating deep dramatic tension. Fourth, lasting influence. Oedipus Rex has influenced literature, psychology, theatre, and philosophy for over 2000 years. Its relevance in modern context shows its timeless nature. Conclusion: Oedipus Rex is not just an ancient Greek tragedy, it is a tragedy of all time. Its exploration of fate, truth, and human suffering speaks to every generation. Next topic: Fascini verses. Fascini verses were an early form of Roman popular poetry originating from Fascinium in ancient Etruria and were initially performed during rural festivals and harvest celebrations. Key features: improvised and satirical, occasional obscenity, social and ritual use, influence on Roman literature. Conclusion: Fascinating verses reflect the early Roman love for performance, humor, and satire, playing a vital role in the evolution of Latin literary forms. Next topic, the story of the Iliad. The story is an epic poem by Homer set during the Trojan War, a legendary conflict between the Greeks and the Trojans. Though the war lasted 10 years, the Iliad focuses only on a few weeks in the final year of the war, highlighting themes of heroism, rage, honor, fate, and mortality. Ending of the Iliad. The poem ends with Hector's funeral, not the fall of Troy. The actual destruction of Troy comes later in other myths, not in the Iliad itself. Major themes: the destructive power of anger, the cost of war and glory, the tension between fate and free will, honor, pride, and personal loss. Conclusion: the Iliad is not just a war story, it is a deep reflection on what it means to be human, to suffer, love, and die with dignity. Next topic: major playwrights of ancient Greek tragedy. The three most important tragedians of ancient Greece were Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides. They laid the foundation of Western tragic drama, and their works are still studied and performed today. Aeschylus, known as the father of tragedy, Aeschylus introduced a second actor on stage and developed dramatic structure. Two famous works, Agamemnon, part of the Oresteia trilogy, tells the story of King Agamemnon returned from the Trojan War and his murder by his wife Clytemnestra. The Persians, a unique tragedy that portrays the Persian view of their defeat at the Battle of Salamis. Second, Sophocles. Sophocles added a third actor and focused on character development and moral complexity. Two famous works. First, Oedipus Rex, the tragic tale of a man who unknowingly kills his father and marries his mother. Antigone, a story of moral conflict between state law and personal duty, where Antigone defies the king to bury her brother. Next topic, notion of honor in the Iliad. In the Iliad, honor is a central value that defines the actions, motivations, and conflicts of its heroic characters. Honor in Homeric society is earned through bravery in battle, leadership, and recognition by others, especially peers and gods. Here is a discussion with key examples from the text. First, Achilles and honor. Achilles, the greatest Greek warrior, is deeply concerned with his honor. Achilles withdraws from battle because his honor has been wounded. His absence leads to severe losses of the Greeks. Second, Hector and honor. Hector, the Trojan prince, sees honor in terms of duty to family, city, and gods. Conclusion: in the Iliad, honor is the most important value for a warrior. It determines social standing, personal identity, and one's legacy. Losing honor is worse than death, and reclaiming it often requires great personal sacrifice. Next topic is who reports the conditions of Thebes. In Sophocles' Oedipus Rex, the priest of Zeus and Creon are the key figures who report the condition of Thebes at the beginning of the play. First, the priest report first. The priest of JS, representing the people, approaches King Oedipus to describe the suffering in Thebes. He pleads for help and explains that the city is in crisis. What does he say about the city? The city is plagued by death, disease, and despair. Crops are failing, women are barren, and people are dying. The people turn to Oedipus because he once saved them from the Sphinx. The scene shows the people gathered at temples, burning insane and praying, emphasizing the city's desperation. Second, Creon brings the oracle's message. Creon, Oedipus' brother-in-law, is sent to Delphi to consult the oracle of Apollo. What does he report? The oracle declares that the plague is punishment because the murder of King Lois has not been avenged. The solution: find and punish the murderer of Lois and the city will be healed. Conclusion: the condition of Thebes are first reported by the priest who paints a vivid picture of death and ruin. Then Creon provides the divine cause behind the suffering, the unpunished murder of Lois. Together their accounts establish and central conflict of the play. A city in crisis that can only be saved through truth and justice.